Hey, welcome to Draw Tip Tuesday. My name is Koosje Koenen. Welcome to my channel. I'm here because I want to give you that little nudge for your drawing habit. I draw every day. It makes my days better. It makes me a happier person. That's also why I titled my book, Life is Better When You Draw It. I am traveling and preparing and teaching for a whole lot of workshops. This is all happening in September, October and November. It's super busy, but of course I want to get you going and keep you going. So I made a little something for you. I made a drawing bingo card for you. I will put the link below in the description so you can download it and you can print it. And then you can start marking off all the prompts on that card. Do one every day and I'll be here every week with a little nudge and a video for you. I'll take those videos from the archive, so you might have seen them, but by now you might actually approach the assignment or the idea in a different way than you have done before. Actually, I am really sure that you will, because every time you do a drawing, even if it's the same subject or the same technique, it will be completely different and also a different experience. Okay, so link is below this video in the description. Let's do this. And we will start with the video about drawing greens because, well, here we still have quite some lush greens, but they are turning. So that could be an interesting moment to start capturing the greens around you. And I love drawing greens and trees and nature and everything. So today we will dive into that subject. Now let's go to today's tip. Because last week I made this really fun green drawing, and today I want to show you a little bit more examples of how to capture green. You don't necessarily need the color green, and you saw last week that I didn't use the greens from my palette because I feel they might be a little bit artificial, but you can do anything. You can even use purple for greens if you like. You can use black and white, you can use any type of tool or mix all of them. And you can even choose not to use any green, but swap it out for a different color. Be playful and do whatever you like. Let me show you a few examples. Hopefully they will inspire you and hopefully you will draw more greens. Greens don't necessarily need to be green. I mean, the greens don't play the main role in this drawing, but they are very important because these people are sitting in a park. And all I did was making marks, and by adding some gray, it also indicates that it's in the background and it's all around. So that's a good example of not even using any green to create green in your drawing. I've got more of that. An example is this one. It's all marks with a brush pen, and the brush pen was actually low on ink, so I could create really nice scratchy brushy marks. I think I also used a fountain pen. Here again the greens are not the main topic, but just some marks actually indicate that there's trees and leaves. And for this one also a very nice indication of trees and greens and some pops of color, but no green at all. So that shows we don't need green at all for greens. But if we want to use green, these are greens straight from the watercolor palette, mixed with blues and yellows. But I wasn't really accurate with the shapes. It's all mark making, see? Now this one I love. This is everything in one page. So there are shapes of the leaves, and they indicate that there's leaves in the foreground. I was sitting under some kind of canopy of trees, if that's the right word. There's shadows, dark shadows, because it was a sunny day, that also indicate that there are leaves. And then there's the view, and I used brush pen, I used fountain pen, I used watercolors, And also I used crayons to bring it all together, to make this whole thing so alive. And there was so much to see, so many textures and shapes and colors. So this took me quite a while, but it was an absolute meditative drawing to do. And I can feel the buzz of this vibe, and I can hear the buzz of the bees and everything when I look at this drawing. There's one here too that I really like. Dark blue colored pencil to make the drawing, and then I added watercolor on top. Again, mixing my own greens basically, using green from the pan, but then mixing it with blue and with yellow, making all these different kinds of greens. There's not one type of green for trees. Trees have all kinds of green. This is one like that too. Started with pen and then added a lot of watercolor. It was like a little bit of a coloring page almost. But as you can see, I had a lot of fun doing mark making, just drawing circles for leaves, not trying to indicate a whole tree, but just small pieces of texture, of shape, of mark making. It's all mark making that makes it a whole, that makes it a logical thing, even though it's not logical because it's just all stripes and shapes and blobs. Here's more crayons. Crayons are amazing for mark making. Look at the curly shapes that actually create like this bush shape. And then there's the more like stalky shapes in the foreground for grassy kind of things. These are flowers. They don't look like flowers, but they do. Just scratchy bits here. It's all mark making. Even the sky, it's marks. And that's really great if you use crayons. They are a little bit greasy, so you can mix them a bit, and you can cover a lot of, page basically, because they're blunt tools. So you can work quickly, and working quickly also gives it like the feeling of a little bit of wind going through those bushes. I really like the effect of this. I put watercolors on top and then added more crayon and then some watercolor on top. So this was a few layers of basically two tools, crayons and watercolor. This is only crayon. I think this is a very good example of how greens, trees, grass, bushes, leaves can all be just marks. And it doesn't have to be green. This is bluish. And there's another one, crayons combined with watercolor. This is my mom's garden. All these colors, it's amazing, especially late spring, early summer. It's exploding with colors and textures and shapes again. So I showed you drawings that are all about mark making and color and not color. And not so much about the shape. But sometimes it really is about the shape. Then it maybe is a study of a plant, or a couple of plants or bushes or a tree. And then it's fantastic to just really study the shapes of, especially these kinds of shapes are amazing. I keep on drawing this plant in my living room. So you can really make a choice of what you want to draw and how you want to capture it. Again, same plant. And you see that here too, in this one, I also focused just a little bit more on the shapes of the leaves because it made sense for this drawing. Christmas trees. Those shapes are so iconic. Try and draw them and see how to figure out the shape without trying to draw the needles, So here I did it in a different way than here. So there are so many ways, even in one drawing, to try and capture greens and the shapes of trees. And how about this for capturing greens? I just swapped out my colors. I chose a color palette of purple turquoise and orange, and I figured it out. So that's just another way to really challenge yourself. And still, these are greens, aren't they? They're purple, but they're green. You're almost all set. All you need to do is download your drawing bingo card and you can check off one of the prompts right away. So this is your assignment for today. Download your drawing bingo card and mark off your very first prompt. Have fun drawing. I'll see you next week. Bye.